Oh, hey everybody. Sorry it's taken us a little while to get this next video out. We had a slight interruption during yesterday's workout, so we had to refilm it this morning. We wanted to get it out as quick as we could to you all. So hopefully this has met you in enough time to be able to get the next workout in. And we got 10 other workouts beforehand. You can surely just go back and cycle through a few extras if you need to. Repeat those if you need them. We also dropped that yoga video over the weekend, so check that out. We do a little bit of Om work into there. It turned out pretty well. I think we'll do another one this coming weekend. We'll see how that goes. There's also a how-to foam rolling, and I work on mobilizing your foam rolling, which is a little bit different than what's normally taught. So please go check those out. Please subscribe to our channel. Give us likes, give us love. We love that sort of thing. All right. Few shout outs that I want to give, and the first goes to our guy Ed, big muscly Ed. Ed called out last weekend to check out a movie, a documentary called Fat Fiction. Little did Sarah and I know that this was actually made by one of our favorite doctors that we enjoy listening to his talks, and that Dr. Mark Hyman. So highly recommend Fat Fiction as a great documentary to watch and to learn, and maybe be able to put some low carb into a little bit of your daily life to help you in wherever you're trying to get with your fitness and your health. Beyond that, we got our 100th subscriber. We got a big shout out to Tina Hamilton out there. Very nicely done, Tina. We appreciate that. Tina is the champion over at one of our sites at Medtronic. So love having her aboard with us and love having you all as well. Okay, beyond that, I've got a pole around here. If you can see it, it's a very, very thin pole. I grabbed this from the garden, but the point being is we're not going to use this today, but we will next week. And so I want you all to start thinking about some sort of a pole that you can grab from somewhere. What were some other options we were talking about?
Broom or Swiffer.
Broom, Swiffer. You could also grab like the curtain rod and you could take the curtains off and you could use that. I mean, just destroy the house to work out. It seems like a reasonable idea, at least to me. So just a little heads up, we'll be using that. We'll be doing some mobility with shoulders in the beginnings of the workouts through the week, and then we'll also do some actual workout stuff, a part of our circuits from there. So that's coming up. Beyond that, we've got weighted options for you per always. I do like the bag option for today's workout. Sarah's got that handy baking soda. She hasn't even cracked the baking soda yet. She just lifts it. 13.5 pounds. That thing's never going to get worked. We're just going to have smelly clothes in the meantime.
I can't do hot yoga. They don't smell right now.
That's true. All right. We're blessed. My clothes are happy. So, once again, grab some bags, load them up with some weights, or have some weights around you, some other options. I like kind of the dish detergent. You get like a nice handle, and you fill it with liquid. Liquid's always going to be a little bit more heavy for you. And of course, like a light option could be a water bottle for you. Or you can use body weight for this stuff. Always. You always got a body weight option as we're here as well. Beyond that, if you can go barefoot, let's kind of bring out those bottoms of the dogs. Bring them out. Get them barking. Proprioception, I'll try to make sure that we're consistently bringing up which muscles you should be using throughout your workout so you can pay attention to that. Our single-sided movements start on our right side, so always start on our right is what we're attempting to do. If you have injuries, specifically knee injuries, you're never jumping into any of your movements. Be careful if you feel bright or sharp pains. That's not normal. We don't want that happening during the workout. And if you notice that you just kind of can't work your way around it with a specific movement, then just eliminate that movement and use the other two or wherever that works. But we don't want you moving through sharp or bright pains. Keep you safe, please. Okay, lastly, your own music. If you want to put a little bit of that on, now is the time to do so. Also, we had somebody bring up a really, really great recommendation, which is if you want to use my playlist that I have, just write a little something into our YouTube page or shoot me an email, Sean_Nichols21@yahoo.com, and I will be happy to share my playlist with you, and you can put that on in the background as some music along the way. Okay, so let's get into the warm-ups, the regular, and then we've got one new warm-up that we're going to put in and we're going to switch out. But we're going to start with our big step back, so let's start with our feet together. Your right foot's going to take a big step back. You're going to put your right hand to the floor. You're going to lift over with that left arm high, bring it down, stand up through the heel in front, and switch. So working on longer steps back, sinking the hips a little lower, bringing it up, and standing tall at the top. Now, if you need an option on this one, Remember that we can keep you more upright, and we can just kind of take that split stance here. You can put the hand against the thigh and open like we were doing in our first number of videos as well. 6 reps a piece is the usual, and that's what we're doing here. We got one more on this. Excellent. Then we bring it up and we go back to our wide stance, really, really wide stance with the feet. Hands are together in front. We sit back and down, pushing the hips behind you, opening the outside arm, and then pushing through that heel to bring it back up. So I talk about this often, and I talk about it because it is super important. I want you to find your weight sitting on more of your heel in the middle of your foot as we go down and up through your leg exercises. Find your weight there as you go down, as well as more specifically when you push back up. So we're getting more of the strength through the back of the leg by activating midfoot to heel. All right, next movement is low squat and some stretching. So we're gonna start with a stretch. Fold forward, grab your toes, move your butt a little side to side, wag your tail, and then take a seat into that low squat from here. Let's see if you can get tall with the spine. Place the hands back down, lift the hips back up, and repeat. Sink back down into that squat. Tall spine, heels down, hands down, butt up. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the hips up. Inhale down. Now we do a little movement down here. We're pushing against the knees. We're moving around. Hands down, butt up. Breathe out. 2 more. Into it. Show me that movement again. Straight spine as we do. Hands down, butt up. And final one. Okay, move it. Plant it. Butt up. And now gently roll through your spine until you get all the way nice and tall through there. All right. This is our new warm-up. We're going to change it up a little bit. Instead of doing our circles around the hips, we're just going to be reaching side to side. So we're going to have our feet a little wider than the shoulders. You're going to take one hand, just simply kind of reach up and over to one side. Gently bring yourself back up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Next side. Good. Breathe in. Raise it up. Exhale. Reach. Inhale up. Exhale out. I've been working on my inhale, exhale. That's yoga for you. Inhale, exhale, last one. All right, so last up we're doing balance standing before we hit the floor in our warm-ups. Let's plant your right foot, lift your left foot. We're going out to the left side, crossing, coming to center, and then tilting the top half of the body forward. Hit repeat. Let's focus the eyes on one point in front. And if you can tighten the belly, we're going to start waking up a lot more balance between that eye focus and that belly tightness. Now, Sarah tends to make this stuff look pretty good. She is the talent around here. There is zero doubt about that. All I can do is really just run my gums. I'm lucky enough to be able to get through these exercises as is. Okay, last one more. Very good, everybody. Okay, let's switch it. So your left foot is planted, your right foot is up in front. Extend that right foot out to the right side, cross it, and then bring it back, tilting forward. So as you tilt back, try not to lift this leg too high. Try to think your hips are parallel as you go back. So you're not opening the hip on the right side. You're keeping both hips in more of that parallel position as we go through that single leg deadlift. Okay, two more. Excellent. Hopefully everyone's balance is starting to kick in now. All right, that's good. We hit the floor next. We're going to take the feet out in front of us, have the knees bent. Now, your more manageable option is to have your hands behind you on this, all right? If you need, or if you'd like, bring the hands up. And we're going to focus on the in-between of this movement, trying to keep the head and shoulders forward before we reach. So drop the knees, keep the shoulders forward, and now bring the hands to the floor and reach. Push into the floor, bring it back up, square the shoulders up, keep them square as the knees turn, and now create that reach. Good, so this one takes a little bit longer, and that's okay. We generally got pretty tight hips day in and day out. So I want this to be a good focus of relieving some of those areas where we hold a lot more tension. We got 12 total reps. Each time at the top, square the shoulders up, keep them squared. Now reach. Halfway through. Of course, if you need to, if you're moving too far forward, take a moment at the top. I'm going to just scoot myself back a little bit, and then I'm going to continue to keep moving through there. Square it, rotate, now reach. Okay, we got last two, folks, the last two. Work on pushing those knees down, those hips down, and opening a bigger stretch by creating that push. All right, from here we get into our hip bridge press. We've got our feet about as wide as your shoulders, maybe even a little wider. Okay, hands are down into the floor, push your hips up. Let's lift one foot up, control it coming down, switch it. You got 12 total lifts. And I'd like you to try to wake up those heels as we're doing our lifting. I'd like you to find your low back as you're doing the lifting. So think about how your core and your low back is engaged in the hold, helping the balance. If you need to be on the floor with the hips, that's okay too. Last one. Nicely done. Okay, now, usually we finish up with doing mountain climbers. This week we're going to change it up to doing bicycles as our finisher for each of our sets. So it's going to be 30 seconds of bicycles coming up. What I want everyone to do is get onto your back position. We're going to bring the hands behind the head, opposite elbow to opposite knee, and then rotate over. Okay, so smooth as you crunch, and one full leg extension. We start in 2, in 1. Let's get it moving here. You got 30 seconds of these mountain climbers with a full leg extension.
You mean bicycles?
Bicycles, not mountain climbers. Very good.
Backwards. They're upside down.
The talent is on it. Again, she is by far the glue that keeps me together from falling to pieces.
That's why I sell it.
That's why she sells it. Woo. Man, she is good today. She's on a roll. Maybe we should do these morning workouts more often here. All right, so keep working on smooth rotation. Every time you turn in, breathe out. In 2, in 1, and rest, everybody. That is your first 30 seconds. Congratulations. We will be doing that 3 more times at the back end of our circuits coming up. So let's do this. Let's take a few moments. Let's go over what our circuits are here. Circuit number 1 is going to be standing. Circuit number 2 will be a little bit of a mix between floor and standing, so something different. And circuit 3 will be on the floor completely. Circuit number 1, what we're going to do is a squat and a shoulder press, and then we're going to put a little side tap into it. So we want to get you here with your feet shoulder width apart. Should be a good solid squat. I don't want your feet to be working together on this one. Keep your feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to give you your side angle. So from here, we're going to bring it down. You're going to extend your right leg out. That's okay. There you go. Step it out. There you go. Bring it back in so they're still shoulder width apart. Come up and shoulder press. Bring it back down. Now switch the sides, and you've got 6 reps on each side, right? So 12 total reps of doing that before we move into your second movement. As an option, more manageable, no weight, maybe don't go down very low, but still keep the weight into your midfoot to heel, please, because we're working that leg strength. Okay, second movement, we're gonna go after your biceps, and this is a great time for a bag. Sarah's got some weights. She's gonna use the bag, baking soda. Perfect. What we're going to do is plant one foot and lift the other straight out to the side. And then as we keep the body nice and tall, we're doing a full bicep curl. You get 6 bicep curls on one side, then we switch that leg and go over to the opposite side. If you need a more manageable option, you can keep that foot a little lower, or you could even kind of just gently tap the toes to the floor and help you keep that balance better while still maintaining kind of the balance through that power leg. Okay, your final movement is a curtsy to a knee lift. This can be done with weight or without weight. It's 12 total reps. Again, you start with your feet together. You're going to bring one foot behind you, bend the knees, and as you come up, bring the knee up. Okay? So work on balancing the movement as you go down and as you go up. And once again, find midfoot to heel. If you need a more manageable option, you're just going about halfway. You're still going to give me that step back, but we're going to do just like a lighter knee bend as something more manageable. Once we finish 6 minutes of those, doing those movements as many times as we can, then we hit the floor and we go bicycles for 30 seconds. I hope that is clear. I'm going to take 5 good ones from the talent over here, and we're going to hit the clock. The clock gives us 10 seconds to get moving. So your 10 has begun. Grab whatever weights you may need. You've got that squat shoulder press and that lateral lunge coming up. Beginning in 2 and 1. Let's get going, folks. Oh, I'm gonna grab my dish soap. I'm gonna sit into that. Remember, keep the feet shoulder width apart as we go up and down through that squat. Come all the way back down. Balance that extension before you go up. Okay? Smooth, and then those heels and those mid-foot positions is where the power pushes through for the body to come back up. Once again, that more manageable option. We could do this one without weight. We could also just sit into it a little bit. So the hips are out. I can still extend that leg out. Stand up and press. Bringing it back. Okay? Find what works for you. This one is meant to kind of get that heart rate going up. You get 12 total reps. Then after that, it's biceps. Grab some weight, maybe a bag. Practice balancing on one leg. Out 6 reps on one leg before we switch over to the other. Let's make those biceps smooth, right? Smooth coming up, and if we can go nice and long on the way down, that's our eccentric phase where I'm always telling you the eccentric is where we build strength. Once we're done with those bicep curls, it's that balancing curtsy, stepping back and bringing the knee up and repeating 6 times on one side before switching over to the other. So I didn't go over this in the beginning, probably should have, but for those of you who are regulars, you know that this is 3 movements, 6 reps apiece for 6 minutes. How many times can you complete that total circuit for 6 minutes overall? Great, so Sarah, I can see her heel working. She's got her weight seated into that heel more so. And she comes up, she's getting tall, she's kind of locking her body at the top point for that balance to be there. Good. Finish those 6 reps on each side, and then it's back to the top with that squat shoulder press and that extension at the bottom. Grab that weight, get yourself set with those feet at least shoulder width apart, sit into that squat, extend one leg, bring it back in, squat and press. Okay, out, extension, up and press. 12 of those total, 6 on each side is your number. And if you can, if you want to make this more challenging, add depth to your squat. Start getting lower and work on that extension is going to be a little bit harder if you start getting lower. Smooth that out so there's more balance involved into that lower squat. Perfect. Once that's done, just going back to biceps, and then we have the curtsies to follow from there. Everything is 12 total reps in our first circuit here. It's 6 apiece on each of our sides. Meant to get some cardio working for you all on your hump day morning. Biceps, one leg extended out to the side. And what's key about this is that you're using the outside hip, right? With this leg lift, you're using your abductors to keep that leg lifted. Getting kind of small glute muscles, medius, minimus involved into that as well. We're keeping tall with that top half. Kind of feel that the core as well as the spinal muscles are holding you upright and keeping that posture clean. Ooh, getting warm in here already. Getting thirsty, folks. Getting thirsty. Sarah works me out pretty good here. Now we got 2 minutes remaining. I want you all to give me a little bit extra if you can. I know this first round is leg intensive. I want you to work through the leg intensiveness because this is the only round that's going to be incredibly leg intensive. After that, we're going to start breaking it down. Next segment will be a mix, and then last segment, our third circuit, is going to be entirely core today. Perfect. She got the balance. She's right back to work. Squat, press, and leg extension. All right, good. So, like Sarah's showing you, if you get a little gassed, complete a circuit or complete a movement, and then take 5, 10, 20 seconds if you need it. If you're that gassed, take that breather, and then come back with ferocity, right? Grab some water if you need it, but then come back and finish out at least our final minute with a little ferocity to what you're doing. Okay, watching those knees, keeping them stacked over the ankles, keeps good form into that squat, And of course, once again, broken record, push through those heels to stand up each time. Very nice, very nice. After that, she's going biceps. That's a little bit of a recovery type of movement. We did that on purpose. Folks, you got less than a minute out there. You got less than a minute. I want those breaks to stop right now if possible. I want you working continually through the end here. Perfect. She stays tall, abs are tight, even spinal muscles locked into position. There we go, there we go. Let's find consistent breathing. As you breathe out, you lift up. Breathe out, lift up. Same thing with your squat. You stand up, you breathe out. Perfect. Got the balance. Now she's put some pop into it. She's bringing a little bit more energy to these last 20 seconds here. Once you finish, once I'm done with that clock, I would like you to finish out your reps. Finish out your reps, and then we've got that 30 seconds of bicycles, which follows. Perfect. 5 seconds, folks. 5 seconds. Why don't you give me like 2 squats on each side? No weight. Just sit into it. Extend out. 2, 1. That's good, everybody. So Sarah's finishing out just a couple extra reps. That gets a little bit extra. Let's bring it down to the floor. Let's go bicycle position. On your back. Hands behind your head lightly. We get started in 3, 2, 1. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Let's try to make it smooth, and let's rotate through each of these. The top half of the body getting a nice rotation side to side. Every time you go knee to elbow, breathe out. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Find the abs doing the crunching for you. You got 10 seconds remaining. Finished up in 3, 2, and 1. That is official break time, breather time, everybody. Woo, that talent looking good on the fitness floor this morning.
Heart rate's up. 150.
150. All right. If you all are following along with your heart rates out there, take a little peek. See that you're getting it going. That's the whole point of these leg exercises, is to recruit more of that heart rate, get a little bit more of that HIIT principle into our training today. So, circuit number 2. This is going to be a mix, and it's the first time we're actually not just all standing or not all on the floor. So first movement is on the floor, second movement can be standing, and you're going to have to stand even if you're doing the floor portion. Last movement will be back down on the floor. Let's go over what we're doing. First up, we're going to start with a movement we did a couple weeks back where we're going to be facing the floor. You're going to have your hands down at your sides. You're going to lift heels as well as hands up, even your chin, and then we're going to place the hands back under the shoulders. You're going to push into a downward dog from here, okay? Bring it all the way back flat, nice and smooth. Lift everything up, hands under, push those hips back. Now, if you need a more manageable option, you lift here, but then you go into a child's pose from there. Okay, so more manageable option, you just drop in a child's pose before you bring it back to the floor. If you want to amp up what you're doing, when you come back to here, give me a single leg lift. We'll bring it all the way back to the floor, and then second time around, switch that leg lift. So you'll get 3 on each side if you're doing that power option on that movement. Now our second movement is where we start having a little bit of standing. This is a kneeling lunge as our start point. So on both knees, okay? From here, this is really key, and I want you to practice this and slow it down in the beginning so you can fine tune it and make it look good. Your right foot steps up first through the lunge and stand. Your right foot steps down first, back down. Same thing, right foot up, good, right foot down. 6 times on one side with that right foot leading the charge, both up and down. After that, then switch it to your left, do exactly the same, left foot up, left foot down first. Practice that. It is 6 reps on each side. If you want to add a little bit of weight, you're welcome to it. If you need a more manageable option, I want you to stay standing up. I want you to get into your split lunge position, split stance, and we're just going to practice going down and up, and you're going to visually make sure that that knee stays right on top of the ankle as we go through 6 lunges on one side and then 6 on the other. So that's exercise 2. Our last exercise brings us back down to the floor. It's basically a rotating plank with a little bit of a bottom leg kick through. So I'm going to just move a little higher up on my mat so everyone can get a good visual on this. Give us your plank position as you start, maybe feet a little bit wider. We're going to rotate to one side. We're going to open the arm, and your inside leg now kicks through. okay? You can come back into that same point, switch it to the next side, and as Sarah's shown from here, she's gonna keep the foot elevated to make that a little more challenging. Now, as your more manageable option, you can bring it down to the knees and work that rotating plank position where you're gonna lift the top knee, lift the top arm, come back down to center, and then switch it on over. So everyone's got some options through these. We got 3 movements per usual. We got 6 total minutes to work our way through them. These movements go 6 for the first movement, and then 12 reps for our following 2. Hopefully that is clear. Our clock has started. We got Missy Misdemeanor Elliott in the background. Let's get going. Flat to the floor, full body lifts. In 2, in 1. We get full body lifting up, hands under shoulders, downward dog. Okay? Remember, more manageable option on this, after the posterior lift, you can give me that child's pose position. Okay, so more manageable, just kind of sit hips to heels and give me child's pose. You want to amp this one up. When you lift up to downward dog, lift a leg with you, and then bring it back down. Once that's done, we get into those kneeling lunges. Kneeling lunges should take you a little bit. It's 6 reps on the right side before we move 6 reps over onto the left side. With that kneeling lunge, this can be an opportunity to grab a little bit of weight if you'd like, maybe a lot of weight if you got it around you. With that kneeling lunge, both feet are together. Right foot steps up first. Right foot steps down first. Keep it 6 reps with that right foot leading the charge to begin. Okay, so obviously this focuses on good amount of balance and how your hips can control your up from the ground and coming back down to the ground. If you need that more manageable option, let's bring it all the way up, keeping that split stance, and most specifically, watching that knee and keeping it right on top of the ankle as we go down and up. Smooth coming down, steady coming up. You'll give me 6 reps on your right side before you switch over to that left. And of course, you're welcome to grab some weights and add some resistance to what we're doing as well through there. All right, awesome. So she finishes out doing those kick throughs, that kind of rotating plank with the foot kicking underneath. Love it, love it. She is the talent, no doubt. Look at that. She's like a star down there. Those hands, those feet. She's got those pretty pink nails rocking. Fluorescent pink. Sarah, you got style, girl. You got style. Okay, so it's 12 total on that floor. Go 6 on each side, count out those 12, and then hit repeat where we go flat to the floor. You're gonna lift up the top half of the body, and then you're gonna get into that downward dog from there. Okay, 6 of those, and then everything else has 6 on each side. 12 total for your following 2 moves. As we go into this, show me your back lifting, okay? Your shoulders, your butt, your heels. I want full posterior chain, everything in the back of the body active before you get that strong press up. That more manageable option, you sit back into the child's pose. Don't be afraid to take that manageable option if your shoulders are starting to get burnt out. Perfect. So Sarah's giving you exactly that example right there. She got a little tired. She's going to just sit more into that child's pose, or maybe she just takes a break for one of them and then tries to finish out maybe those following 1 or 2, whatever reps she has left. Folks, we're more than halfway through it. More than halfway through it. Remember, kneeling position comes next. Right foot up, right foot down. Start with 6 on that right side, 6 of them. Then switch it over to the left. If you want to add a little bit of weight through that, you're just going to get that heart rate to get a little bit more active. And believe me, I'm looking for an active heart rate over here. Perfect. So what Sarah just did, I don't know if you can see her eyes. She kind of just did the, I'm thinking about what I need to do now. That's what I want. I want you to slow the lunge down and do it properly. Your left foot steps up, your left foot steps down. Left up, left down. Or right up, right down. Let's perfect this, make it smooth, more so than be concerned about the power end of it. Okay, last up we get those kick throughs. You roll through. You're gonna open that top arm. And of course, that more manageable option, you're on the knees. You're gonna lift that top knee. You can still keep the foot to the floor as you lift that top knee. But open that arm on the top, feel a little stretch, and feel some back muscle as you do so. Awesome. Woo! We're gonna get her breakdancing soon enough. We're gonna throw some cardboard out here. That's gonna be our next video. So you all just pay attention, make sure you're subscribing and liking. All right, boss, you go back to flat on the floor, posterior lift. Folks, we got less than a minute 30. Less than a minute 30. When we get to that final minute, no rest time, please. No rest time. So if you need a little breather, take it now. And then I want final minute of work to just be rocking through. There we go, good. She's taking that option. That's what I want you all to do too. If those shoulders, if you're burning out, sit into that child's pose as that option. Sarah and I have been working on a little bit more of that press strength, but it's still not what she's best at, and so that's fine. She did her first 2 rounds full go. Now she's kind of mixing it up a little bit, make sure that her shoulders aren't just toast by the end of this thing. All right, once that's done, she's kneeling and standing up. Folks, we got just a little over 30 seconds remaining, a little over 30. Let's keep working until I get to that end of the clock. And then I want you to keep working until you get to the end of those 12 reps or those 6 reps, whatever number that gets to. We follow with 30 seconds of bicycles after that. So save a little in the tank before we're done here. There we go, there we go. She's rocking it. We got 10 seconds. Yes, she's got that rhythm. 3, 2, and 1. Our clock is done. Finish out your reps. Sarah's a trooper. That is talent right there. I love it. All right, let's get down onto the back. You give me Cinco. Solid. Cinco for you all too. Very good. We're bilingual here occasionally. Hands behind your head. Put your feet up into the air. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Begins in 3, 2, and 1. Rotate. Breathe out with each turn. So I'm going breathe out. Breathe out. I'm getting a full leg extension. Push and straighten that leg each and every time. And gentle on that head, neck, and shoulder area. Gentle with the hands and the fingers. 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Last few. Finished up in 3, 2, and 1. Woo-hoo-hoo! That's 2. 1 to go. Yeah. Nothing like a good old-fashioned workout to get the body feeling good, huh? You all get some water over there. Once again, a couple virtual high fives out to you. Yeah, right there. Yeah. All right, solid, everybody. And for those of you that are continuing to just sit there and eat bonbons and watch us work out, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying the show. You know, we like watching people sweat and that. We're here for you. You just subscribe to us and everything else is cool by us. All right, so our final circuit is on the floor completely. Okay? So on the floor, what we're going to be getting into is a new movement called 8s. And we're going to get our body into a little bit of a V-shaped position. So where I want your elbows to be is underneath your shoulders here. So I'm not lying down on my back. I'm going to set my elbows underneath my shoulders. Both legs straight up. So this is kind of that V position with the body. And then from here, we're going to make the letter 8 with our feet. So we're going to go circle, circle, and then 6 of those completed 8s or infinity signs, as Sarah liked to bring up. Okay, now if you need an option on this one, the knees can be bent and we can make this a V position. You can extend the legs out and tap down to center, extend the legs out, tap down to center as that more manageable option in that movement. Our second movement, we're going to turn ourselves around, we're going to go plank position, and we're going to do some heel lifts. So you're going to lift up one leg at a time from your plank position. Plank position has either your hands or your elbows underneath your shoulders, then one leg smoothly lifts and slowly comes back down. Switch it to the next side. This is 12 reps on each side. So just like our previous circuit, it's going to be 6 reps for the first movement, and then the second 2 have 6 reps on each side. They get to 12 total onto that. You can go down to the elbows if you need, and you can even bring one of the knees down to the floor if you need, and you can just work on kind of a smooth lowering if you're in more of that manageable option roll. Okay, last up, we're gonna go to a movement we did a week or two ago. You're gonna be lying down on your side. Your bottom arm is gonna extend straight out in front of you. Your top arm is gonna raise over top of you. You got both feet together. You're either gonna lift a single leg and reach towards the toes, or you're gonna lift two legs as a more challenging power option through there. Okay, more manageable option beyond that single leg would be to have the knees bent, and then you can kind of do a little bit of that bent leg lift, so minimizing a little bit more of the resistance that you gotta fight against. So once again, 6 reps for the first movement, and then 6 reps on each side for your following 2 movements. I hope that is clear. I'm gonna get this thing started. We're gonna wrap this workout out in about 6.5 minutes. So get yourself set. We start on our back. We're gonna put the elbows underneath, and we're gonna make some 8s. 2, 1, give me some 8s with the feet. Little infinity sign moving its way around. Now, if you can, let's not get too tight into the neck and shoulder area. Perfect, you got good control. And you could bend those knees, and you could give me that V position as an option. So we could be here with the knees bent, lift up to one side, come back down, and switch it over. Then we go planks to heel lifts. This is 12 total, 6 on each side. Biggest thing I'm gonna cue her for is slow as she comes down. Okay, this is where the low back and the core is going to get more strength building, is by slowing down the return of that foot to the floor. With her upper body, shoulders are working, but I want her lats working right here too. So finding and feeling those lats is a great way to stabilize and engage more muscles into the movement. Once that's done, we finish side lying position. You're gonna have that bottom arm out, top arm overhead. You're reaching up towards the toes, and then smooth as you come back down. Okay? When you lift up is when you breathe out. When you lift up is when you breathe out. So practice a little bit of that. Put the breathing with your working out and fine-tune things even a little bit more. There we go. So Sarah's going slow on the way back out, and this is what I always try to break down with you guys. All of your movements, I'm kind of a broken record with telling you to slow it down unless it's a specific cardio movement. She goes 6 on one side, then she switches over, and 6 on that next. Remember, bent knees can be that option, as well as a single leg to make that movement more manageable. Once that's done, we're switching right back onto the elbows underneath you and going 8s, number 8s to follow. Perfect. Elbows behind her. V-shaped position with her legs up as you're doing little 8s. Little infinity signs. For those of you out there who are part of Funk Infinity, big shout out to everybody out there. You groovy, groovy souls. Hope you can enjoy just a little bit more of that infinity rocking here today. Plank position, heel lifts to follow. She has a choice to be down on the elbows. She also has a choice to be putting one knee to the floor and just smoothly going up and down through that lift. More manageable options are always okay. Now I'm going to tell her, lean a little forward, Sarah. Bingo. And that turned her lats on right there. So one of the things I see people do a lot with their plank is they're extended back here, and I want your hands right under the shoulders so that not only is the shoulder safer, but the lat muscle right under that armpit is doing a lot more of the whole. We're engaging back into your plank.
You better have a 6-pack after all this.
Woo! I'll go buy you a pack of 6. We can do that. All right, so she finishes going to the side position. Did you do your heel lifts? Just those? Cool. Okay. Legs are out. She's going to extend up, breathe out, breathe in. Okay? Out, in. Make it smooth. Make it smooth, folks. The more you can slow down the outs of your movements, the eccentric parts of the movements, and the more you are maximizing your potential in your workout. Is it kind of sadistic that I enjoy seeing her kind of struggle like this? I can tell she gets a little mouthy with me, when she's working out hard. Just reminds me that, Sean, you are doing a good job. Your mouthly duties, they're working. All right, so let's go back to that V shape, elbows under the shoulders. We got about 2 minutes remaining. You got 2 minutes, And then this workout is done. I want you to focus in. I want you to burn through these core muscles. Work through it. If you need a small breather, take it, but then come back and keep working through it until that clock says zeros. Love it, girl. Plank position, hands or elbows, your choice. She could even be down on one knee. If she's burning out too much, I'm going to encourage her to stay onto one knee and do those 6 lifts.
Work?
Yeah, I don't think that counts for much, unless you're really pushing down into the floor. Don't tell me I didn't see some pushing going on there, though. The talent is getting tired, ladies and gentlemen. The talent is burning out. That's okay, which means you can burn out too. But we're getting toward that last minute. You know what I want? I want nobody to give up on me in the final minute. I want you to work to the finish line. You need the break. Take it now. Your final minute's coming up. There we go. Get that side position. Folks, it's final minute. It's do or die time. This is the end of the workout. We do this minute. We do 30 seconds of those bicycles, and we call this thing a wrap for the day. Perfect. Breathe out as you lift up and smooth as you come back down. All right. Focus to that finish. It's 30 seconds remaining. You know I want you to finish out whatever 12 reps or 6 reps remain in that exercise. Let's go, boss. Let's finish it. Last little bit. Show me some 8s. We'll make this your last movement right here. We got 15 seconds to finish. Good. She's in control. She's keeping loose in the neck and shoulders. It's really easy to get tense up here. Do your best to keep it light. Keep it loose. Finish up. In 3, 2, and 1. Finish out those final reps. Bicycles are coming up next. Last exercise of your workout, ladies and gents. Get on your back. Bring your hands lightly behind your head. So fingertips just on the sides of the head. Opposite elbow to opposite knee for those bicycles. In 3, 2, 1. Let's get moving. Good crunch. Smooth rotation. Now, if you wanted to crank this one up a little bit for that final exercise, I'm cool with that. We could do that. Just make it a smooth rotation still, please. Straight leg. Gentle on that down. 5 more seconds. Last few. Fuel that burn. Work through that burn. 2, 1. Woo! Nicely done, ladies and gentlemen out there. Woo! We got some tired talent in the house. Woo-hoo! I'm all for that sort of thing. Well, I give you all some virtual high fives, some virtual love out there. Bingo! You know, it's almost Easter. Anyone have any Easter plans out there?
Easter candy.
Easter candy, absolutely not on my watch. If I find any candy in this house, it's going straight into the trash.
I gotta get better at hiding.
That's true. I'm gonna have to hide those eggs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into a little bit of our stretching segment. This is not time to click off for those of you who do. No gracias. Stay here with us and let's do a little bit of stretching. First thing I like to do is put you on your back and have your arms overhead. And just use that as an opportunity to start to open the spine as we're slowing down movement-wise here. So, belly breathing is where I want the focus to come into now. If you'd like, you can close your eyes, but I want you to breathe in, feel that belly rise up towards the ceiling, and then long exhale out. I'll give you a good minute here. Start opening the body top to bottom and to find that breathing. So we're going to talk about using your diaphragm through the stretching today, and this is essentially hand in hand with the deeper breathing. You inhale more air, your diaphragm expands more. Your diaphragm is a muscle. Let's go ahead and slowly bring your right leg up. We're going to bring the hands behind it. We're going to get into your hamstring stretch. So, as the diaphragm is a muscle,
we want to work on getting to its full range of motion capabilities. What does that mean? That means that when I'm talking about full range of motion for our exercises, I want it to go all the way to a stretch point and then to a contraction point. So stretch in the bicep to contraction in the bicep, and that gives us more of a full range of motion. Let's pull the foot back a little further, find that moderate level of discomfort, and let's keep the neck and shoulders soft through this. We'll go belly inhale, breathe in, expand the diaphragm. Exhale out. We're going to bring the foot over to the left side about a foot or so. If you'd like to get playful with your foot up there, you're welcome to it. Or you can keep it still as well. So as that diaphragm expands, this is the stretching of your diaphragm muscle, right? And then as you breathe out, I often tell you, breathe out fully. Push a lot of air out of the body. Let's go ahead and gently lower that right leg down. Your left leg comes up next, hands behind it. Moderate level of stretch. If you'd like to move that foot around, do so. Keep the neck soft. So that extra long exhale, pushing more air out of the body from here, that is getting to the contraction of that diaphragm, really using those muscles to tighten in, to shorten up, and to expel as much air out of you as possible. So work on the full range of motion of your breathing, ladies and gentlemen. Pull the leg back a little further if you need to, if you can. Big inhale in. Long exhale out. We're going to bring that foot a little over to the right side, about 1 foot or so. So it's just beyond the right side of the hip. Hopefully you're feeling that hip on the left side now, this outside area, getting pulled on, getting a little bit of that stretch love. Big inhale in, long exhale out, contract that diaphragm. Let's go ahead and drop that. I'm going to sit up to do my butterfly stretch. Sarah's likely going to stay on her back. I love what Sarah shows here beyond those pretty nails, is she puts the hand on her belly, and that is a belly breath reminder to me and hopefully to you all as well. Stay tall through the top half. Let's work on that good inhale. And let's work on that longer exhale. It is the longer exhale that brings our body into more of a de-stressed state. We call that the parasympathetic nervous system. A longer exhale helps you activate de-stressing of the body. One more good inhale in. One more long exhale out. We're going to go kneeling position next through here. So, kneeling position, you're going to have your right foot out in front. Let me get this clock to stop running on me. Very good. Okay, so right knee in front, right foot in front, left knee is down. Left glute, left butt, I want you squeezing it, and then left arm is up and reaching a little bit backwards. So, speaking about stress, we kind of wanted to bring up a little bit of a conversation to you all about, you're here to do your workouts maybe a couple times a week. We get you upwards of an hour through your workout time. That's 1 hour of de-stressing. What are you doing with your other 23 hours in the day that are helping you achieve a more optimal, less stressed state? Big inhale in, long exhale out. We're going to bring the hand down. We're going to bring the foot across and get into our pigeon pose next here. So bringing that right foot across you, you're going to gently lower the knee to the floor, and then you're going to maybe extend that leg behind you a little further. Come down to your elbows. You can rest your head onto your forearms. I'm going to keep you here for a moment and allow this stretch to kind of deepen and soften through the hip. So hips are generally very, very tight in us. Stress often causes our muscles to tighten, right? So whether that's neck muscles as kind of that more common culprit, but hip muscles get a lot of tension and they hold a lot of stress within the body too. What are you doing to de-stress yourself? Are you spending a little extra time stretching areas that need it? The tighter spots in your body, whether that's a neck or a hip or a hamstring. Let's go big inhale in, long exhale out, come up back onto the hands. We're going to switch our knees. So your right knee is down, and your left foot is out in front. Okay? Squeeze your butt on your right side, lift your right arm up, and reach a little back from here. Maintain this and continue to breathe. So this also has to do with the foods that we put into our body, and certain foods are going to increase stress hormone production as well as increase inflammation. Inflammation is what ages us. It breaks down our cells. So we want to avoid kind of a constant stressed state, which a lot of us are in, especially as we're in kind of these current times, as well as inflammation. Big inhale in, long exhale out, right hand comes down, left foot works across, and lower down into that pigeon pose. For me, I got long limbs, so I'm going to extend my back leg a little further and work my way down so that I'm actively trying to get the left side of my hips to push towards the floor. So earlier we gave a shout out to Ed about bringing up fat fiction, and fat fiction really brings up a lot of these same points, that carbohydrates, refined grains, sugars, these often are going to increase inflammation within the body. They're also going to increase stress hormone production. It's sticking to things like whole foods, vegetables, some fruits, that's really going to keep you in a better de-stressed, less inflamed state day in and day out. I challenge you all to practice a little bit more of eliminating sugars from your diet, eliminating refined grains, white flours, you name it, fried foods, and alcohol. Thank you. All right, come on up from here, and we're going to finish with a little bit of standing, a little bit of stretching. Now, I know that we all joke about doing happy hours, and hell, probably a lot of us even go out and do happy hours. We're as guilty as charged. But minimize what you're doing to your body at this point in time. If we can minimize the stress, we can really increase our longevity and the way that we deal with our stress here. Let's go ahead and take our hands lightly behind us. We're going to push down towards the floor, bring the chin up. So we're stretching through the chest and shoulders in front. And I want you to, behind you, feel that your shoulder blades are kind of peeling back towards each other, wrapping around your spine. Now this is a great time to expand the rib cage and the diaphragm, so breathe in deeply, open the chest, open the rib cage, a lot of little muscle stretching, and find that large exhale as you breathe out. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale in, and a nice long exhale out. Lovely, nicely done everybody, shake that out. We're going to finish up with just a little bit of forearm stretching today, so I'd like you to take your right arm and push it out in front of you, your palm away from you, your fingers, pull them towards you. We think about being on our computers day in and day out, or even our cell phones. There's a lot of this going on, which means a lot of tight muscles through those forearms. They get really, really pissed off. We want to make them happier, and that's why we're stretching. De-stress the forearm, de-stress your body, de-stress your mind, and come out of this a stronger person than how you went in. Okay. Now from here, we're gonna just simply flip the hand around so the fist comes towards kind of the head or the top of the shoulder. You're keeping the arm straight, and this is where we're starting to stretch that top forearm place. Now the top forearm is really where I notice the stretch more than anything. Do you feel similar? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. So we get kind of that area where a lot of tendonitis tends to show up, or we get carpal tunnel issues, tennis elbow, clearly associated with kind of the top forearm. So use this time to stretch it, to breathe into it, to smile. Let's go ahead and shake it out. Switch it over, next arm out, fingers towards you. And a cool little fact that we learned from the movie was having to deal with heart disease. And what they said is that heart disease is not necessarily just a buildup of plaque within the arteries, fat plaque that has stayed, but what it is this inflammation of the arteries. Let's go ahead and switch it. That because the arteries are inflamed, they've now widened in space, which has minimized the blood flow that can come through there. Also, there's little tears that happen when there's inflammation of those arteries. And it's the fat molecules that actually bind into those tears, trying to help your body heal itself, and then they build up within each other, and that's generally how we run into heart disease issues. So I thought that was really, really amazing way to think about it. I never thought of heart disease revolving around specifically inflammation of the arteries themselves. I hope that can be just a little bit of education for you all. Take one good inhale in, one long exhale, push it out. Y'all have done a hell of a job today. Thank you for joining us. We'll have another one out in about a day or so. And send us any comments, questions, concerns. Send this to your friends, your family, and kudos on your next workout completed. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.